Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Friday night live stream. So let's talk about this symposium or the White House as they brought everybody together in the crypto and digital asset space to talk about not too much. And I have to tell you that this is pretty much the sentiment right now. And this was actually from David Bailey. He posted this. And everybody's just so excited. It's happening. This is great. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be awesome. And strategic reserve, and there's going to be a bunch of buying, and it's going to be fantastic. And that's really not what I was talking about here as far as the crypto sentiment. This is the crypto sentiment. Bro, I buckled up 43 times. How many more buckle ups? And I think we're all in that stage right now where we're like, what the heck just happened? And I think it's some of these unrealized expectations that we have. And unfortunately, it's a lot of people who hype up a situation when they should have tempered expectations about what is about to happen. Was it all bad? No, not really. But if you watch this, which was some opening remarks for the summit itself from White House, and there was a lot of great things said, mostly about how great Donald Trump was. People, let's just call a spade a spade. People love Donald Trump that were in this summit, and as well they should. They brought them together, and if you want to watch somebody who really gives a lot of praise, watch that summit opening sequence. Again, it was about 24, 25 minutes or so, and I just honestly turned it off. So this is what was said. And there was other people that came in and they talked about it. I know, like we had Sergey Nazarov from Chainlink, and we had Brad Garlinghouse, and we had Michael Saylor, who essentially was sitting there kind of not shaking his head, but not looking too great. But it is what it was. And it was something that I think everybody put a lot of expectations on, and they thought that there's going to be these big, huge announcements. And I didn't really think it was going to happen, because why would you essentially blabbermouth to the entire world exactly what you're going to do with digital assets, with Bitcoin specifically? And why would you, tip your hat before you actually do it? And what did the markets do? Well, the markets do what the markets do, which was dump. And some people say, well, it's a pullback. Some people say it's a dump. I don't think it would be a crash. I know I titled this as a crypto bash crash, but that's just because it rhymed. But it wasn't really a crash. A crash is when we see like 10, 20% in one day. In the last hour or so, we're at 0.5%. Although in 24 hours, Bitcoin did go down 4%, and 30 days, 11%. And we just see that, over the last 24 hours, we were riding high. Everybody was super excited about this. Hit 90,000 yet again. And then, of course, once we figured out, maybe this isn't going to be so great. And when the expectations came out and Trump said, hey, we're not going to actually have the U.S. taxpayers pay for Bitcoin, but we'll see what we can do. We'll just keep everything that we've confiscated. And then, boom, it crashed. Or pullback, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. 84,971. It was if you're a trader, this is a great day. Great day. And then we got some good news. Everybody had some high expectations, went up to 90,000 at around 11 o'clock. And then, of course, everybody's like, wait, this probably isn't going to do too well. Crash again or dumped again. And then here we are with a small little piece. I have to tell you, I broke a couple rules today. I broke a couple of, I did break one rule today, and that is the 0% exchanges. I actually put in what the traders call a limit order, because I thought that Bitcoin would go down as everybody started to realize that this wasn't the greatest type of announcement. And it did. And everything got filled, and I was pretty happy. So I broke my rule as far as nothing on exchange. I left it there for a good 10 hours or so, but it got filled, so I was pretty happy. So that's pretty much had happened. But I want you to listen to this. And I know people say it's happening, but just really listen to this. This is Scott Bessent, Treasury, and he talks about, where they're going to come up with the money to purchase more Bitcoin. I want you to just listen to what he says, and you tell me if they've really got a great plan lined up for this, or if they're just playing 4D chess. I don't know. Take a listen to this. Oh, and first of all, can everybody see my screen? We've been having issues with StreamYard. I just want to make sure that you actually see this, and I'm not staring at the screen while nobody's seeing or hearing anything. Just want to make sure. I know there's like a little bit of delay. So before I play this video, if you could be so kind in the comments section. Thank you, J2 Day. Appreciate it. Let's do this. Take a listen.
There was disappointment that we're not going to be buying Bitcoin outright using taxpayer dollars. But if we can do it in a revenue neutral way, we would. Number one, were you a proponent for the reserve? And two, is there a way to buy Bitcoin, not just acquire it through, I don't know, however we've gotten these $17 billion worth at this point?
Yeah, so Joe, I am a big proponent of the U.S. taking the worldwide lead in crypto. I think we have to bring it onshore and they use our best practices and regulation. I think that the Bitcoin reserve, before you can accumulate it, you have to stop selling it. So what we have now is from a seized asset pool, and I wasn't there when it happened, but I believe what happened was about 500 million of Bitcoin was seized, half of it was sold, and what we have now that, say it's over 10 billion, 10, 12 billion, that's all through appreciation. So the first thing to do is to stop the selling. So we are going to, after the victims are paid and all of that, any seized assets will go into this reserve, and then we'll see what the way forward is for more acquisitions for the reserves. And we're starting with Bitcoin, but it's an overall crypto reserve.
Right. So how do you think about buying though? And how should taxpayers think about that? Because effectively we'll be levering ourselves to some degree, given that we don't have a surplus of money right now to make these investments.
Yeah, so that's why the first step is to stop selling, and then we're going to put a plan in place from there. So
first thing we're going to do is stop selling, and then we're going to put a plan into place. Let's see what the plan is. Who knows what it is? But it sounded, quite honestly, between us, like if there was a plan, maybe it's not really concrete. But I got to tell you, this doesn't instill a lot of hope or a lot of confidence in me as far as where we are going for a Bitcoin strategic reserve and actually acquiring more Bitcoin. So we'll see what that actually happens. And actually, Scott here actually did make a pretty good point, which he talks about this is how much we actually have as far as like we have roughly 200,000 Bitcoin that, of course, we have seized over time. But he said there's also, there's some that we're going to give back. And what he's talking about, and which is a pretty good point, I need everybody to understand this, is that the U.S. government currently holds approximately 198,000 Bitcoin. What is 200,000? Primarily from criminal seizures and civil forfeitures, right? As time has gone on, Department of Justice has done their job, Marshals done their job. So Bitcoin seized in connection to the 2016 Bitfinex hack were around 120,000 Bitcoin was stolen. Alex Storm from Galaxy Digital pointed out that of the 198,000 Bitcoin held, approximately 112,000 Bitcoin is tied to the Bitfinex case and is expected to be returned to Bitfinex following legal resolutions. This leaves a max of about 80,000 Bitcoin available for the strategic Bitcoin reserve. And that's also the ones that hopefully we have. We have to go through an audit to figure this out because the marshal's like, whoopsie, I think we might have lost a couple hundred. So there's that. Not so great. But it's not all bad news. I don't want to be like a wet blanket constantly. I have to give you balance, right? Usually when we come out here, we do the good stuff and I give you the bad news. Today, I give you the bad news first. But here's some good stuff coming across the board. Smella Tourette always does a great job. And at this summit, she summarized it very, very poignantly. She says, look, you all here to hear first, but Donald Trump said he expects Congress to get digital asset legislation to his desk before August recess. I know what you're thinking. Well, that's not really that great, Rob, but think of it this way. If we get some type of guidance, which is what we did not have in the prior administration, especially with the Gensler reign at the SEC, if we can get some kind of guidance coming through, maybe these companies, these institutions, these different players that are on the sidelines that haven't really bought or not have talked to their customers and say, hey, maybe you should allocate just a small percentage. Maybe now that if we have like, I don't know, an actual reserve of the U.S. government We actually have guidelines in place for what it is. Oh, and also there's another piece that came out that wasn't really talked about here, but Donald Trump is trying to undo all the IRS regulations that have come through with taxation of Bitcoin and digital assets in general. I'm not going to say that he's trying to make capital gains extinct, but he's trying to streamline the whole process because, let's be honest, it was jumbled and just awful and just kind of dumb. So in that situation, the tracks have been laid. Hopefully we can move forward. But the good news for me is this, and I hate to say it like this, but it's the truth. I'm just glad that the price went down. So I was sitting there last night thinking to myself, or in the morning, you know, maybe this will just rocket up. Maybe they actually come out and do make this big, huge announcement and everything's going to be great. If you take a look at the risk levels, let me just blow this up for you. This is Ben's website. I steal as much information as I possibly can. Just don't tell him. And these risk levels, when I had my Bitcoin on the exchanges, or excuse me, my USDC on the exchanges, and I had these limit orders in, I was just hoping that it would dump because actually the risk levels were at the 0.49, 0.48 levels. Now they're doing a little rally, 86,000 at 0.50, 0.499, I think is what it was. And this is, to me, like a reasonably good time to buy. And if we take a look at the risk levels, and of course, this actually fluctuates as time goes on. As Bitcoin's price goes up, the risk levels will, of course, move. But if we're looking at the risk level of 1.0, if we top out this cycle, it's just a random guesstimation, 249,000. Now, I'm not telling you to sell or whatever, but 249,000, it's not bad if that actually happens. But this is what I really want to show you. Over here, the good times to buy. This is not financial advice. I can't give it to you. You have to make your own decisions. But if you look at time frames, I mean, since 2022, which was the bottom, remember that? Gosh, when was it? November 2022? And it was 0.2. That was the risk level, 0.2. And then, of course, we had a big rally and we pushed up above, almost 0.54, 0.6, and we went all the way to almost 0. Actually, we did. We went 0.72 in March. And then, of course, we crashed down. But you're going to see, like, at these levels here, 0.5, 0.49 is right in line with in 2024. And then also some of the big dips down here in 1st of September 2023. So if you're looking for, like, a time to kind of like, is this a good time to buy? For me, it is. And I like this. And also, I'm going to give you a bonus on this one, which I really shouldn't do, but it's okay. You know what's looking really good as far as risk levels go? I mean, really, really good. SWE. Check this out. Let me see if I can find it. SWE is one of those, they say it's a Solana killer. I don't know. But Solana right now, their risk levels are actually pretty, above Bitcoin's at 0.53. You can see it right there, 0.53. But SWE levels, look at this, 0.27 at $2.59. Wow. So just so we all are clear, I own SWE. So when I talk about this, of course, I want the price to go up. But look at these levels, this is heavily undervalued. Still pretty good. When you bring up SWE, nobody starts throwing tomatoes at you and telling you that it's a VC coin and you hate everybody and it's trash and garbage, like what you get with, I don't know, Solana and or Cardano, not the VC part, but the whole trash part. At least the community's intact. Anyhow, it's looking pretty good. 0.275, that's a very low risk level. And if we just take this on the continuum to see where we're at a 0.75 level, $13, I like that. 0.9 level, $26. 0.97, 37, and topped out at 41. I don't know if I can reach that, but it's been pretty low for quite some time. Anyhow, just something I'm looking at, and that's what's going on for tonight. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everybody talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to stick around, I'll answer all your questions about altcoins, whatever else that comes up. But if you got to take off. I appreciate you for stopping by, especially on a Friday night. Let's get into the Q&A. All right. I heard Vitalik showed up, but Trump mistook him. Okay, I can't read that. Almost like nobody's paying attention during Trump's first term. He gets nothing done. Yeah, maybe we'll see. Fully dipped again. Who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a geopolitical expert. Let's see it. Will says a $40 SWE would be nice. I would agree. I would agree. You know who first told me about SWE? I had no. It wasn't even on my radar. It was Guy and Nick from Coin Bureau, and I believe they bought pretty early, and they were really big on it. I'm like, why are they so big on it? And I watched their video on their Coin Bureau Club. Made me sit up and take notice. Maybe I'm missing out on something, and we'll see. Chris Reardon says 1D chess. Nice. Texas Joe, did you buy SWE recently, Rob? I haven't, but I was looking at this for today's show, and I was like, I probably should start dollar cost averaging. It's so low. But what I have been doing is I've been buying a lot more Bitcoin, because I stopped buying Bitcoin after 100K. I'm like, I'm not buying any more of this, right? I'm not Michael Saylor. I'm not going to keep buying these tops. But in all honesty, every time I think like that, it just keeps going higher. So I just said today, or the last couple of days, I'm like, well, I should actually not just dollar cost, but put some heavy amounts in, and then also dollar cost average and see where it goes. DASTEX says 50 to 60K bottom. Anything's possible, man. Anything's possible. I'm not here to make arguments about one way or the other, because there's so many factors out there. There's so much. I mean, we have to take a look at the macro. We have to take a look at the geopolitical issues. We have to take a look at the wars. And of course, we have to take this. There's three words that are really going to mess everything up. Tariff, tariff, tariff. And if that doesn't become a winner, it's going to be pretty sticky for quite some time. Holy stuff. Oh yeah, I got SWE in my iTRUST account. Didn't quite time it right, though. I rotated Bitcoin to SWE for a temporary flip to get more Bitcoin. Yes, actually, I have a little bit in iTRUST myself. Brandon says this is all related to stock market. 100%, and stock markets will do well, very well. Let's hope so. It seems like some days we're heavily correlated with the stock market, and some days we aren't. I guess today, I think the S&P did actually take a little bit of a. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. S and there we are. Take that back. Actually, a pretty good day for S&P 500. How about 5-day? But still, I think we just saw the unemployment levels come out. I think we ticked up by 0.1. So I don't know. I think that would be that'd be good news, because if unemployment rate goes up, then the Fed and Jerome Powell sort of say, something wrong with the economy. Maybe we should start cutting rates. So actually, no one wants to lose their job, but it is what it is. 6 months, 1 year. Look at that. Look at this little, man, since February for 1 month. It's been pretty brutal. Lower highs, as the kids say. Anyhow, but yeah, that's what we got. Is XRP done, or can it hit $3 at the end of the year? My friend Martin says it's going to the moon, so it must. It must. Yes, you too. You too. AVAX risk ratio is top class, big buy right now. Okay, let's take a look at it. So let's see. Going here. Steal Ben's information. And also, if you'd like to support Ben, there's a great website. You can sign up for free. And a lot of things on here are free, or some things are free, like the DCA tool, which is pretty good, just to kind of see where things are going or where have been. But, you can sign up for free and then kind of dip your toes into this great data. Just saying. First month is 10% off. Just throwing that out there. Links in the description. So let's see. Avalanche. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I didn't know it was this low. Look at that. 0.3. It's in line with SWE. So this is crazy though. From $20, let's say it goes to the 0.5, the 0.49905 level. 34 bucks. I'll take that. How about 0.6? $52. Okay, now we're talking. 0.72. Top out $100. That's a 5x from here. I could deal with that. Wow, AVAX doing things. And it actually works really well. I mean, from what I hear from the gamers, that's what they tell me anyhow. All right. Very, very sad getting Crypto-S coin video suggestions in my, that's what it is, unfortunately. You know, I'd like to get away from the S coins myself. I think there's going to be some winners and there's going to be a lot of losers. I think we could just hopefully just disseminate between which ones are the ones that just are sucking and need to die. There's a lot of zombie crypto projects out there and they're just sucking up the liquidity. They need to just go away. Or what I think would possibly happen is you just have a big coalition between all the reasonably good coins and projects, and they start to hoover up all the different developers and communities. That would be the good way to do it. Gavin says, do you have any TON? I was a huge believer in TON. TON, if you don't know, 950 million users across the globe. And I think we're like an 8.1 billion population. Correct me in the comment section. So they got, 1/8 of the entire population on one app. In America, you don't see a lot of people using Telegram. Usually it's a bunch of crypto bros and gals, but globally it says pretty well. I thought they'd do great, but it's been sucking right along with everything else that's out there. Fan says, hey, Rob, can you answer this for me? Where are they expecting to get the Bitcoin if the taxpayers are not paying for it? The lack of transparency that Summit, I think, has spooked the market. David Bailey had a good post about this. Where does it come from? Where does Bitcoin? Because if the U.S. taxpayers aren't going to get it, then where do we get the money for it? So if we're talking about taxes and the U.S. taxpayer, we can't go from there. Where do we get it? Well, we have in our possession a pretty good structure of gold, correct? And the gold market cap is roughly 12 trillion. Now, not for sure how much we actually own as far as the U.S. government, but can we take something from, I don't know, there? And then, of course, if we are able to cut funds from a certain department that is not doing so well, maybe we could use the funds that we shore up and put it into this reserve. Or maybe as we come out and we start to seize different things, illegal activities, and we start to crack down, and maybe if we can get our hands and stop this Lazarus group from North Korea scamming people left and right, maybe we could use that to put that Bitcoin trading reserve. Again, that's, a little bit of hearsay. Far away, but there's always options out there, and that's where it could come from. Did we get regulatory clarity? No, and everything with regulatory clarity is not from an executive order from the president being unilateral. It's just that's the executive branch. When you go through judicial, we need to go through Congress to actually pass laws and make things actually work. A lot of things that need to be done will have to be done through Congress. And people will say, well, that's not good. But remember, we do have some pretty pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto people that were just voted in, thankfully. So we may have the votes to actually make things work. Bull news, but bear sentiment, time to sell. For me, it's not, but for some others, it is. It just depends on where you think things are going and how long you want to stick around. I think that's really what it comes down to. How long do you want to stick around? Do you want to keep getting hyped up by everybody who's like, oh, this is it, buckle up, it's going to happen. And then you're like, where's the fireworks? What happened? For some reason, people still love to hype up things to the 10th degree. I don't know. I'm just happy just to be here and just enjoy the ride. Let's see. Polygon, Pol has done nothing but bleed lower and lower, putting in new loans now. Sad. True. I still own some Polygon. Not very happy with that. Chainlink, I got to tell you, Chainlink is one of those crypto products that seems like everybody needs to have as far as an oracle, and really looking at it like almost like a layer one. But price action does not really move. Maybe one day it'll blow up. Who knows? Yeah, this one. I just want to know what Brian Armstrong wanted to say at the summit. Seems like he got snubbed. and surprised that Michael Saylor didn't speak. There was this one clip where Donald Trump says, he's like, and, you know, we're going to make the best thing, the most fantastic strategic reserve, and we're never going to sell our Bitcoin. At least that's what they say, but who the H knows? And then I think they panned over to Michael Saylor, and he was like this. It's got to be tough for Michael. He does the heavy lifting, and then he comes in there, and he's like, who are all these? Well, he knows who the people are, but he's like, why are these people here? Why is that person there? Why is this just be a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Yeah. Master Blaster says it right. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Very true. Yeah, so I also broke another rule today. I told my brothers that they should at some point maybe think about getting into Bitcoin, which was a mistake. I shouldn't have said that, because at this point, I don't know if you guys are trying to orange pill your friends and family. I think it's just a waste of time. Not because like we shouldn't do it. We should, you know, strive for greatness and push people our way. But I think it's just because people are just too weak these days to really get on this train and do the hard work like we do, right? Because when you tell your family, like I just did today, which was dumb, to get Bitcoin, you know what's going to happen? It's going to dump. Then it's going to be like, I told you this thing, and you've been talking about this since 2018, and look how low it is. And I have to remind them, you know, Bitcoin, when I was picking it up, was like $3,000 bucks. But I'm just saying. And you're going to go through people just going, I'm out of here. This is BS. Whatever. So I depend on you guys to do the heavy lifting, because I'm done orange pilling people. I try. But I just don't want to go through the whole, like, you can do it. It's going to be fine. You know, make yourself just 4 years, just hodl. It's going to be all right. All right. What else we have? I tried to orange pill my brother when it was $10. He bought it in 2020 when it's 67,000. Yeah, you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. That's true. Yeah, Jason says, "Come on, Rob, you're faltering, breaking rules. Hold the line. We're all gonna be rich soon." I'm actually very rich, and not in money. I mean, I can pay the bills and I'm good there, but I'm rich because I don't have to report to anybody. I get to set my own schedule, do my own thing. I live in a great place in Puerto Rico. I mean, I'm right by the beach, essentially. I mean, look, if you're looking for who's rich, I feel every single day when I get out there and I'm doing the walk, and I'm like, God, I'm the luckiest SOB in the world. It's great. So like just in there, that's what I wanted. And yeah, here we are. That's why I'm not like usually too freaked out or too excited about either way. Yeah, Christian does have a point. There's a lot of talk on HBAR being used by SWIFT. SWIFT, if you don't know, is essentially the international rails to move funds around, and it was created like I think it was 1962, correct in the comments section. But SWIFT is archaic and very old, and it's what we are actually using right now to transfer funds between banks, which really does suck. And HBAR is very fast and very clean, and looks like they are going to be hopefully one of the ones that are put on. Also, I've heard also that Chainlink is in that discussion as well. Rob, what's your favorite project? Not your favorite crypto, but your favorite project in blockchain? Probably one of my favorites, I will say, is World Mobile, because when I used to try to like orange pill people and explain crypto, they'd be like, what does it really do? And I'm like, well, you know, there's this great one called Dogecoin, and I don't know if you've heard of Fartcoin. I'm just kidding, but like, you know where I'm going. And of course, when we talk about loans, it's not a great prospect. Then we talk about NFTs, about what it could be. Of course, they all know just about the images. With World Mobile, I feel like it's something that can actually has real utility and can reach out and essentially connect people who cannot be connected. And actually, I'm waiting to get my service through them and drop T-Mobile. And people will say, you know, there's also Helium on Solana. I've never used it, but I mean, the price seems reasonable. I don't know what the kind of service it actually has and the feedback, but it looks good. Those types of things I like. And then also, because AI is a big narrative, and it's actually, like when you guys use Grok and ChatGPT and Perplexity, you know how much compute it actually takes to do that? Watch the interview between Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, where he sits down and pretty much talks about how difficult it was to get the massive amount of compute to actually, I mean, the boards, the computerized networks, the actual space in Texas. It was pretty amazing. And like I see these types of products like Aether can actually do real good as for compute. And then maybe, Hypercycle brings it all in, but those are like way down the line. So I like these projects that are kind of in this phase of rolling things out everywhere from World Mobile to Aether to Hypercycle. Those are great. But for just like safety and security, it's obviously Bitcoin, because even Peter Schiff, the gold buggiest of bugs, said that, hey, Bitcoin is essentially gold 2.0. And he didn't understand why the strategic reserve included all the other altcoins. Touch. Is that touche or tusche? Touche sounds pretty good too. Long-time watcher, first time kind of want to say I appreciate your level-headed approach to the crypto space. Review is very good messaging from new users. Safety above all. Very true. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. There's 5 videos I need you to watch. And just 5. No big deal. And if you go into the description, there's a ton of different links. But I need you to watch these videos if you're new. When I'm selling 80% of my crypto, stress-free profit taking, the 100K pull jump you can fix, or you can skip. That's just me jumping into a green screen. Dynamic DCIing, the 5 rules, and then this one, don't fall for AI scams. But this one right here, the 5 rules, that one's probably the one that's going to be the most important to keep you safe. And that's it. Digital gold. Digital gold. I'll take that. All righty. And lastly, I'll leave it like this. It's funny. It's funny people call you Dan Bob. That's where you got to leave it right there. Anyhow, it's Friday night. Get out of here. Go enjoy it. Or Friday morning for where you're at. Maybe Saturday morning. So everybody, thanks so much for stopping by. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe, all the good stuff. And again, I'm still bullish. I just think it's going to take a little bit more time to get this all settled. Thanks, everybody. See you in the next one.